Well, hello there. This is Vitriol's the Chess Noob, learning and having fun with chess. Last week I posted a video about losing some confidence in the game of chess, and thank you to everyone who sort of connected with my content, especially those of you who sent through empathetic messages, and it's really nice and really helpful to feel like I'm part of a community. I took some of my own advice, had a bit of a break, and I'm starting to feel a bit better, feeling some of my confidence, some of the mojo was coming back, and this game is a really good example. I also play a Greek gift sacrifice in this game, but rather than feeling like I'm sort of losing and not being able to calculate the whole match, I did really well. Interestingly enough, my Greek gift sacrifice was actually better, more accurate in the last game compared to this one. But in this one, I still got the win and I felt better about myself. Let's have a look. So I played the Smith-Morra Gambit in this game. So of course, that is e4 and against Black's Sicilian defense. Sicilian defense, really good response against 1e4. And in fact, according to the Lichess Community Database, this is one of the few openings for Black where they actually have a positive win ratio over White. Black here wins 49% of the time compared to White 47 in lower rated games of Blitz and Rapid. This is one of the reasons why I really like the Smith-Morra Gambit, d4, because firstly, it takes Black out of the Sicilian lines. This is Smith-Morra Gambit accepted, and this is pretty much the best response for Black, but here the win ratio completely flips around. White wins 52% of the time compared to Black 44%. Now Black technically has the better position, the upper point of material, it's about minus 0.1, so it's fairly equal, but Black is still slightly ahead. 42% versus, 52% versus 44%. White has a dominating win ratio. And this is one of the things about chess. It's not just about accuracy. It's also about how easy it is to play, especially, when neither side are at master's level. Now, Black here now plays accurately. They're in the 1400s. I'm sure they understand the opening reasonably okay. So bishop out. Now, e6, which of course blocks my potential attack on the f7 pawn. Here I did up the other knight. a6, this is the Pawson formation, very accurate, very good for Black still, but the win ratio is still about 52% to 44 for White. So White's doing great. I now short castles. White is substantially ahead on development. A little bit tricky to play for Black. He immediately attack the bishop. This is the correct move. Now the most common move here for White is to bring the bishop to b3. That's the most common move. However, after knight a5 with an attack, it gets a little bit tricky. I don't really like playing those lines. I've sort of played it before. So here I decided to play bishop to d3. Now this is actually the most accurate move according to Stockfish. My logic here, I'm already thinking about a Greek gift sacrifice. Now, let's think about this strategically and from tactics. Black is probably not going to castle queenside, so they're probably going to try to develop their knight and their bishop, and so they're going to spend a couple of moves there. Here, the bishop potentially has an attack on the h pawn on h7, which is important if they castle kingside, because that's the beginning of the Greek gift. The knight already is in position to jump to g5 with a check, and if it does so, the queen has the open diagonal to access the h-file. So already thinking about Greek gift sacrifice. Now, they sort of developed their bishop, that's fine. I developed my bishop here, come on, let's trade. You can see Stockfish reckon just attacking the bishop is better, that's all right. They now develop their knight. I now ask, what is the bishop doing? They move this way, so, two moves, that's fine. I decide to, let's bring this bishop this way, potentially, you always have to assume that a Greek gift sacrifice attack may not become available. And also there's a discovered attack here. Come on, let's trade. They have to move their bishop a third time. That's good for me. I thought, maybe here, is there something there? That's probably going to trigger, triggers short castles, kingside castles. So Greek gift sacrifice, that tactic is now on. What do I need? I need to move that pawn so that I open up the diagonal for my bishop. I need to move this knight so that I can open up that diagonal for the queen. So firstly, knight forwards. I was hoping for a trade. They opt not to do that. That was a good move for them. I now move my pawn. Now, Stockfish doesn't believe in my Greek gift sacrifice here. The configuration of this is such that black can actually defend against it, but they have to play very accurately and they have to know what's happening. Not so easy to see. Now here, the best move for black is to move their knight out of the way, because that opens up that diagonal. And once that diagonal is open, I can't, so let's say here, sacrifice, and take. Because that diagonal is open, I can't give a check. Okay, so that's quite important here. So that was their best move. However, here, attacked twice, defended only once. That was kind of like a little crumb. You know, I'm hoping that black will be distracted and not see my Greek gift, and it kind of works. So they take, and you can see that's an inaccuracy. That move was better. However, in this position, I actually still don't have a Greek gift sacrifice. And again, we'll see why. However, it's difficult to see. You know, both black will need to play very accurately. I don't see it. They don't see it. But here, it's actually a mistake for me to do it. I take anyway. I still think that's a very tricky move. Captures, it's a check. They have to take. Knight jumps forward with a check. And here, the thing is, I expected black to move the king back. That's the most natural looking human move. But of course, the king can move forward. And if they move forward here with the knight in that position, they end up defending these two squares. So the h5 and g4 squares, which means that I can't do step 3 of the Greek gift sacrifice. And you know, the 3 steps, it's covered in my book, 50+2 Chess Quick Wins, on page 33, available on Amazon. Don't miss out on your copy. I can't do step 3, which means the Greek gift sacrifice basically doesn't work. You have to do all 3 steps. However, they have to see moving the king forward was necessary here. They don't see that. King back, that's a blunder because queen now to h5, immediate mate in 1 threat. Black does find their 1 defense, which, interestingly enough, Stockfish, so the chess.com analytic engine actually calls a brilliant move. Bishop to e4, of course, defends against that square. They have to sacrifice their bishop. However, they win a bit of a point of tempo because my knight had to move out of the way. Here, black must play a move that stops my knight from coming back. So the best move is f6. They have to play that. Now, they have another option as well. They can play that knight to d5, and then when this knight comes back, move the knight to f6, which of course defends against the checkmate square and has an attack on the queen. They don't see that. Instead, they play knight to f5, maybe thinking they can block that square. However, takes, and now my knight goes back to g5. Potential mate in 1 threat. Now they can move their rook, but you know, once the queen infiltrates, it's an absolute disaster because queen ends up capturing material, chasing and attacking black's king. It's completely losing for them. In fact, here the best move for black is to trade their queen for my knight. So the king still is well defended. Nerf my immediate attack, but you know, very difficult to see that for a human. They're still in a completely losing position, around -6, -7. In this position, black opts to resign. Good game, GG. The big takeaway from this game is to understand the tactics and the requirements for the Greek gift sacrifice. It's absolutely lethal in its accurate form, but it's still very, very potent even in its inaccurate form psychologically. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.